Hey guys, welcome to Wow, Word on Wheels. Thank you so much for chiming in today. Today is a special day. It's Father's Day. And so be sure, if your father is still living, be sure and just let them know how much you appreciate them. And so thank the Lord, my brother and I still have my dad, our dad. And Dad is actually visiting a friend in Atlanta, Georgia for a few days. So we will see him tomorrow. But thank you guys so much again for being a part of this. And I know you have a lot going on. Some of you are headed to a church service, and others of you have family engagements. But thank you so very much for joining in and chiming in. I know I'm blessed to be a dad. Anybody can be a father, but not every father is a dad, and many of you understand what I'm saying. But thank all of you all for doing that and just getting back in touch with your dad and being that bridge builder if there's been issues in your relationships. So that's all I'll say about that. I do want to remind you, don't forget the series on Extreme Makeover. It is available online now. You can get it in the CDs or the MP3 format. There are so many things online, markshellministries.com. So if you can check that out, that would be awesome. Let me say, next weekend, next Sunday, I will be with my friends Tom and Paulette Crawford down in a little community in southeast Oklahoma, Arpela, and that's close to McAllister. I'll be there next Sunday morning, and so if you can, in that area, if you are in that area, come and join me. We're going to have a good time. What I want to talk to you about today, and I know we have gone through those years, and some people are still, this is their main focal point. Everything is a battle. Everything is warfare. You can spend so much time doing spiritual warfare that it'll just wear you out. But when you understand the crux of what spiritual warfare is, I think it will bring, and I'm not saying there is not spiritual warfare, but for you that are students of the word spirit doesn't mean some ghost or goblin or this or that. The word spirit simply means a mental disposition. So if you've ever been in a store shopping, do I want the blue shirt or the red shirt? There's warfare, because warfare means you're toggling between two decisions. It's really pretty simple. It can be taught in such a complicated manner. You just throw up your hands and say, this battle is not mine, it's the Lord's, which I believe in that as well. But what I want to talk to you about, really a foundational point, again, a crux of what we have called warfare, is simply a sabotaging. And to sabotage in warfare is to, well, the word itself, sabotage, just means, and how do I put this? It means to deliberately destroy or damage or even obstruct something for a militant advantage. It's to prevent you from success and succeeding in life. And so, you know, when I was thinking, what do the really the people need today? Because I don't want to just do this to say we did it. I want it to help you, not just for the week, but to sow this seed of thought for your life. And my mind went to the story talking about self-sabotage, because in warfare, in confusing times, in those times, oh God, what do I do? How do I handle this? Many people, I've done it myself, you do it. This is something you deal with every day. And if you allow an event in your life to affect you to the degree emotionally, it can put you in a cave and make you start self-sabotaging. And so I went back and rehearsed a story that I've taught on multiple times over the years. But back in the book of Judges, the 6th chapter, Israel, they would go out and plant their harvest, and then the Midianites would come in and just take their harvest. They were being bullied by the Midianites. And so this young man named Gideon, he went out and grabbed some of the harvest before it could be stolen by the Midianites, and he took it up in a cave, and he was sitting there at the press grinding the grain, and the Lord showed up, and it just asked him, are you tired of this? And my question for you is, are you tired of doing without? Are you tired of living? But you hear preachers say, oh, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And some of you haven't touched joy in 20 years. And it's not, well, it's the old devil. No, 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 no. 99% of it is you are being self-sabotage. You're obstructing your own success. And so the Lord said, hey, Gideon, are you ready for this to change? As a matter of fact, the word says this, and the angel said to Gideon, oh, you mighty man of valor, are you ready for this to stop? I would ask you guys today, you mighty people of valor, are you ready for the depression, the oppression, the negation of prosperity, the negation of strength, the negation of health? Are you ready for it to stop? And Gideon said to him, hey, look, if the Lord was with us, then why are we even going through this? And you've heard me teach this many times. You don't go through things in life to prove you love God. You go through things in life, and it develops a compassion so you can minister to others. You don't pray your way out of a problem. You pray your way to find the person that needs to be ministered to through your problem. And as you give, it's given back to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Okay? This is the reason God says he's not a respecter of person. Psalm 84, I believe it is, says God has withheld no good thing from them that walk uprightly. What does it mean to walk uprightly? Well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't chew, I don't do this. That's not walking uprightly. Let me retranslate it. God has withheld nothing from those that think right. And if you're self-sabotaging, you're not thinking right. And so Gideon said, hey, if God is really for us, why are we going through all this? And where are all the miracles that I've seen other people have? And Gideon is brazen with the angel. And read it for yourself in Judges 6. I think it starts around the 8th, 9th, 10th verse and reads a few verses there. And the Lord looked at him and he said, hey, Gideon, go in the might that you have. Go with the strength that you have. You don't have to be fully capable to win your battle. You need to start with the strength you have. And as you start with that, God begins to give you more strength to conquer. And the Lord said to him, hey, just go in the might that you have. And Gideon responds and he says, hey, how am I supposed to save Israel? I am the least I am the lowest on the totem pole in my family. And the Lord said to him, because I'll be with you, and you yourself will destroy the Midianites as one man. Now see, here's the main thought I had when I was developing what I wanted to speak with you today about. We've always been trained to have faith in God. And what I'm about to say will be controversial, but I have nothing to lose, so I'm just going to tell you the truth. We've always been taught have faith in God, but the question is, do you believe in yourself? Because you can have all the faith in God you would ever need, but until you believe in yourself, the two cannot come together. Yes, God does it. Yes, God is good. I'm not saying you replace God. What I am saying is you have to have some self-confidence. You know, even the Apostle Paul said, I believe it was, and this is the confidence we have in him, or it may have been John. This is the confidence we have in him if we ask anything according to his will. So it's okay to have confidence, not arrogance, not egotism, not being egotistical or flagrant with what you have, but be confident. So the question is, are you self-sabotaging? What does it mean to be self-sabotaging? It means, and I, you know this, I love to study the psychology and the neuroscience of the brain and how these thoughts affect your health, your demeanor, your life, your emotions. So what is it? What is self-sabotaging? See, some people use it judgmentally. Some people use it judgmentally as a form of criticism for someone that they perceive as lazy or weak. I've done that. I'll just be honest with you. Some people use sabotage to sound smart when they don't actually know what they're talking about. There's so many things they do. Others talk about sabotage in a way that's so general and vague, it's essentially meaningless. But see, self-sabotage is when you undermine your own goals because you don't know your value. Gideon said, I am the least of these. He was sabotaging his own victory because he had no confidence in himself. In other words, you acknowledge there's something and that you genuinely want in life and you believe it's good for you, but then you do things that directly conflict with that goal. Just a basic example. You believe it would be good to get out of debt. You believe it would be good to live in a nicer facility, but yet you go spend money on things that will not increase in value. You are self-sabotaging. You want to get out of debt, but yet you're not doing anything to get out of debt. You're self-sabotaging. There's a reason why people self-sabotage. It's because of the way you've learned to feel your need for confidence and self-esteem is simply by fostering relationships that don't really work, but they make you feel superior and confident. Some people hang around people they know are maybe not physically in shape. They don't dress to the nines. They don't act right in public, but yet they love to hang around those people. And I'm not saying they're bad people. What I'm saying is someone who is self-sabotaging loves to keep company of people they feel like is beneath them because it makes them feel better about themselves. There you go. So we've got to understand the need for self-sabotage fills most people who try to stop. How do I put this? People that try to stop self-sabotaging make the mistake of approaching it with a getting tough on myself mentality. They'll tell themselves things like, this is finally the time they're going to get their stuff together and stop all this nonsense. They're getting tough on themselves. But being tough on yourself isn't itself a form of self-sabotage. It is a form of self-sabotage. Do you realize getting tough on yourself is not a form of just discipline? It is a form of discipline that is so demanding it literally beats you up. You're getting tough on yourself isn't going to change something. But being tough on yourself is a form of self-sabotage, because while it feels good for that moment that you restrained yourself or this or that, and I'm not saying don't do it, I'm just saying do it with the right mentality. But it'll make you feel good for that moment, but it usually leads to you missing the most important first step in overcoming that self-sabotage. Understanding the need the self-sabotaging behavior feeds. So why do people self-sabotage? Why do they obstruct their goals? Why do they deliberately talk bad about themselves, talk down about themselves, feel inferior about themselves? It is proof there is a need going unfulfilled in their life. So before you get tough on yourself and commit to changing, get compassionate with yourself. Make a commitment to start understanding why you do talk bad about yourself. You don't feel like you deserve something. Why? Why? See, you need and I need to identify alternative messages of behavior to myself. Okay, I'm not just getting tough on myself. I'm going to start looking at it this way. This is not overnight success, but then again, you didn't start belittling yourself overnight either. If you took time to build up a self-sabotage, it will take some time to tear it down. But your enemy is not God, and your enemy in warfare, spiritual warfare, is not always the devil. It's the self-sabotaging that we go through. Mark, how do I get over self-sabotaging? Not only find alternative thoughts and behaviors instead of the ones you've been using to fulfill that need. Clarify your values. What do you value about you? See, this isn't really the most necessary step in letting go of self-sabotage, but it is the most powerful. You've got to clarify your values, and I don't care what you've done wrong in your past. You can say, well, I've done this, I've done that. When are you going to let it go? When are you going to let it go? So I would ask you again, are you self-sabotaging? And if you are, then you need to understand, and I need to understand, number one, the need that self-sabotaging fills, that demeaning of self. When I do that, what need is that fulfilling in my life? And I've got to find alternative behaviors and thoughts. When that thought comes in, I'm going to go to this thought. Only you can control that. Prayer doesn't fix that. Discipline to think right does. You've got to understand this and anticipate and plan for obstacles. Being a Christian doesn't mean you automatically win with no obstacles in your path. It means the way is made plain for you to win, but you can destroy your own future by sabotaging who you are. You've got to, how do I put it? You have to boost your tolerance for these uncomfortable feelings. Okay? Well, Mark, I still don't know if I'm self-sabotaging. Do you say things like, I don't deserve this? You're self-sabotaging. Even if it's a good thing that happened to you, well, I don't deserve this. You're self-sabotaging. Do you know what? Self-sabotagement is one of the number one things in a religious mind. God does something good in your life. Well, I don't deserve it. Of course you deserve it. You're a child of the Most High God. You know, my kids deserve to be blessed. They're children of Mark Shell. Your family deserves more than your self-sabotaging. Stop using your family, your friends, to fulfill a need in a sabotaged mind. Do yourself and people around you a favor and stop beating yourself up. Stop. Just stop. Hold your head up high and say, I deserve this. Not arrogantly. It's just you have faith in God, but you also have faith in yourself of who you are. Okay? And people that are self-sabotaging, they'll say things like this. Well, I can't control this. Well, I can't control everything that comes my way. I can only control how I feel about it, how I react to it, and how I treat others while I'm going through it. Another thing self-sabotaging people say was, well, can I do this? If you're second guessing what you want, if you're second guessing whether you can achieve what you want, you're not committed. So you are opening the door for self-sabotaging. And I know this is a lot, so you can go back and listen to it again and pass this around if you don't mind. So, Mark, I'm still, well, of course I've said I can't control this, I don't deserve this, can I do this? But how do I know I'm really a self-sabotager? You operate in a lot of self-criticism. You tend to be more negative than positive. You procrastinate a lot. If you procrastinate your goal, it was never your goal. I'll just say, do you hear me? I'll just say that straight up. If you procrastinate your goal, you were never focused on your goal. And I see all you guys chiming in. Thank you very, very much for that. Mark, am I self am I self-sabotaging? I'm just thinking, self-sabotaging people usually instigate conflict. They're always wanting to argue about something, fight about something. I know people like that, and you do too. They always compare themselves to other people, and they ultimately begin to question their purpose. See, sabotagement can happen when you're looking for a way out. If you don't really want to do something, you're going to sabotage yourself. So when I hear people say, "Oh, I want that, I'm going for that," and then they start talking down about themselves, they don't really want that. They're self-sabotaging, because until you can talk positive about yourself, have faith in who you are and who God is, you're not going to achieve that goal anyway. This may not be what you tuned in to hear, but it's the straight up truth. Understand this. We get used to struggles, but when you get to the point you just consider them life, and the afterlife is going to be better, and I'll just live with what I got, you are self-sabotaging. I want to say something, and never forget this. Regret in not going for something is stronger than failure of ever having attained it. So regret is stronger than failure. You're not a failure if you don't get it when you want it. You're a failure when you live in regret of what you never were focused on. So don't live in that. So you look back at Gideon, and God said, the Lord said, you're going to defeat the Midianites by one man, by yourself. So he didn't have to win. How do I say this? Gideon had to win the battle of self-sabotage before he could defeat the Midianites. You're going to have to win the battle of self-sabotage before you start walking in health and wealth, in prosperity, in peace, in joy, in kindness. You're going to have to. You're going to have to stop the self-sabotage. Well, Mark, how do you know Gideon sabotaged himself? What did he say? Now, watch this. What's the signs of sabotage? Self-criticism. He said, I am the least of my family. What's the sign of self-sabotage? Procrastination. He was hiding in a cave. He was stuck in a frame of mind. This is just the way my life is. This is just the way it's going to be. He was a negative person in the cave. How do you know, Mark? Because he acknowledged his enemy and the struggles more than the future the Lord had offered him. How do I know Gideon was a self-sabotager? Because he initiated the conflict he was having with the angel that brought the message, it's time for things to change. Gideon began to start asking questions to God himself about miracles. Well, you did it for our fathers. Why didn't you do it for us? Well, they've been healed. Why am I not healed? Well, they have all their bills paid. Why are not all my bills paid? Do you see that conflict? So I'm not on this to make you feel bad. Oh my God, that's me. I feel bad. I'm here to wake you up. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 15, we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. That's not a fly when you die scripture. That is a scripture. God, I wish I could retranslate that to where people could understand the text of it. We will not all stay ignorant of who we are, but we shall be changed when we become aware of who He made us to be. That's good. How do I know that Gideon was a self-sabotager? because he began to question his purpose. He asked the angel, am I supposed to go tear down the altars of Baal that my father have erected? He began to question his purpose. Well, I don't even know why I have this job. I don't even know why I have this pain. I don't even know why I'm having to go through this. When you begin to question your purpose, you are self-sabotaging. Confidence doesn't mean you know it all, but it does mean you refuse to let unanswered questions and fear keep you from going forward. So, what is usually, and I'm about to end this. I try to stay 30 minutes. Sometimes I go a few minutes longer. But what is usually required to move out of this self-sabotage mode? I've spent 20 minutes telling you what it is, and maybe you're thinking, oh my God, yeah, that's me. That's me. Don't beat yourself up anymore. You have become aware of it. Now, I'm here to wake you up to what has put you to sleep. Now it's time for a change. What do I need to do, Mark, to quit the self-sabotagement? You need to tear down the hindrance of what everyone else is doing. God gave you a plan. Go with your plan. Stop being afraid of what people are going to think. I remember years ago, even in ministry, I would be afraid to teach something. Now, I try to walk in wisdom, but I would be afraid to teach something because I want to just please everybody. Please everybody. I want them to look good at me. I'm not there for them to look good at me. I'm there to give them the truth God has shown me, and I will not self-sabotage a message that I teach from the Lord anymore. I haven't done it for years, and I won't start now. I can deliver it in a way that is palatable to most denominations, but it's not going to change what I believe. I'm on a journey to know all the truth that I can while I'm here. So you have to tear down that hindrance of what's everybody else going to think, what are they doing? Burn the altars of your father, just like Gideon did. Mark, what else do I do to break this self-sabotage mode? You need to look for a new company of other people that want a change and don't mind you changing. If you feel like you have to go back to be something you're not, to be accepted by people, you are trying to fill a need for acceptance when in fact you are self-sabotaging. If they don't accept you for who you are, they're not really your friends anyway. You're either in it because they can bless you, or you're in it because you still don't have faith in yourself. So what does self-sabotagement do? It keeps you from living a full life of happiness, from knowing you didn't leave one stone unturned while you were breathing on this earth. Do you understand? The number one thing, according to reports and studies, the number one thing people say on their deathbed is, I wish I had been more myself more often than I was, and I didn't allow what people thought to keep me from what was in my heart and my nature to do. Self-sabotage is the only thing that holds you back. It's the only thing that holds you back because it sustains and perpetuates the confinement or the prison that you're trapped in now. Self-sabotage is the only thing. Stop this, oh, I'm binding the devil. Bind yourself. Oh my God. Bind yourself. Jesus already bound the devil. You understand? The works of the devil have been destroyed. Well, the devil's still at work. How does he work? Through self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is the only thing that can keep you where you are when you have a dream. When Gideon went against the Midianites, he noticed, read the rest of that story. We don't have time. But when he went against the Midianites with the 300 men, he found out they weren't at all what he feared all that time. So self-sabotage is literally fear and insecurity in motion. When Gideon stopped self-sabotaging, then the victory was his. And the Lord said, Gideon, I'm going to save Israel by your hand. Self-sabotage, when it's conquered, you'll find out that enemy was not what you thought. I hope this helped you guys today. Go back and listen to it. Again, pass it around if you don't mind. Thank you so much for your support of the ministry. And I say this every week, but it's so important, not only to the ministry, but yourself. Think, consider, pray, be diligent to do it. But go to markshellministries.com. Look at all the product. There is a tab there. You can partner with the ministry and read all about that. Your support of the ministry is how I do what I've done for these 31 years. So thank you so very much. And a shout out to all the dads. You guys be blessed. You be healed. You are highly favored. Have faith in God, but now build faith in yourself so you no longer self-sabotage. You all be blessed. I'll see you next Sunday morning, 9 o'clock Central.